Welcome back to GoldenEye 007 for Wii. I'm Fenwa, doing a little solo round on some cutting room floor footage. This tutorial actually takes place before the dam does, but I really didn't like the way it interrupted the flow of the game. Plus I really didn't want to start my Let's Play with a tutorial, so I'm probably going to shove this in after the airfield and before Mission 2. For the rest of this game, I'm going to be using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck option for my controls. I played a lot of Red Steel 2, so it's really the only thing I'm used to for Wii first-person shooters. This game actually gives you a whole lot of customization options, so you can play it no matter what sort of Wii experience you're used to. Just in terms of sensitivity with the Wii Remote, it goes from accessible to experienced, and it really determines the sensitivity of the controller, how much freedom it gives you for aiming vertically especially, and you can even go in and fine tweak that, like how responsive the snap zooming is, how sensitive the gestures are when you have to do those during the game. There are different camera styles that determine, how close the cursor has to get to the edge of the screen before it starts to turn you, and so on. Playing the game using the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, it's analogous to a twin-stick shooter, it's just that your right stick is the remote, obviously. There are gadget buttons and weapon grenade cycling on the D-pad. Firing grenades and reloading is on the plus and minus buttons, and way down on buttons 1 and 2 is pausing and scoreboard. I don't know, they gotta make do with what they can. When you're playing the game with the zapper, the default controls are actually pretty similar to the Wii Remote, which kind of annoys me because I don't like having to curl my thumb over the zapper to reach the face buttons, and the game kind of requires you to do a lot of that. I also, the one nice thing about the zapper is you can map melee kills to the gesture action with the zapper, which is kind of satisfying if nothing else. But when you're playing it using the Classic Controller Pro, or the GameCube controller, it's more or less a twin-stick shooter. The GameCube controller actually doesn't have quite as many buttons as the Classic controller does, so they had to, you have to hold the Z button to make some of the buttons do different things, but they're all stuff you'd never use anyway, so it's a non-issue. And obviously this tutorial changes depending on which control method you're using. Also, to my knowledge, you can only lean when you're using the Wii Remote or Zapper because there's no motion controls on the Classic controller, obviously, and that's the only way you can do that. Anyway, that was the tutorial. It sets you up for some of the stealth stuff later in the game, but it's mostly just here's what button does what.